What does Zyn give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but real freedom. Freedom to do what you love and choose your rewards. With Zyn Rewards, you can redeem points for premium tech, outdoor gear, and gift cards to your favorite retailers. Find your Zyn and keep finding rewards that fit your lifestyle at zyn.com/rewards. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
At Sierra, you'll always find apparel, footwear, and gear for 20 to 60% less than department and specialty store prices. But right now, it's clearance time, so you can save even more on everything you need to get active and outside. Visit your local Sierra store today.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Juju, put it on the poll, please. Should there be a National Chicken Finger Day at Le Batard Show? Did you guys see the story?
Dan, huge news. This will make you feel good.
Wow. I can't see you, though. Can you put some lights on in there? Can you put your phone light on or something?
He played so much. Chris Paul has signed a deal with the Los Angeles Clippers, the team he's probably most associated with, and that will be where he ends his career. Wow. So it's a feel-good story there.
Wow.
And Clippers, I like what they're doing outside of trading us Norm Powell for nothing. I like them. They're gonna be prominent in that West.
What is the better feel-good story, Chris Paul to the Clippers or Damian Lillard back to the Portland Trail Blazers?
Chris Paul.
Dan, I'm sorry, the news never stops. It seems as though, and this is big, it seems as though the president has turned the temperature down on the discourse. Wow. Tweeting, the president should not be telling the Washington football team to change their name. Our country has far bigger problems. Focus on them, not nonsense.
Wow.
Big wow.
Yeah,
that's big news. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that tweet was from October 8th, 2013 from Donald Trump's Twitter account. I'm sorry, the new algorithm makes it difficult to tell when these things were published, but that was indeed a real tweet from October 8th, 2013.
22 years, yeah. Gotcha.
Inconsistent, hypocritical, you don't say. The Oakmont Country Club banned Wyndham Clark. Now, I'd like to see what the damage.
And an exclusive report. Cavender twins got new boobs. Chasing this story for a very long time. I stand by my reporting, verified with multiple sources.
Thank God for that. Same size?
Valid question.
I got
Greg Cody, you should have heard Greg Cody during the break talking about strip clubs. This story confused him so much. The story with Lloyd Howell. It felt like Greg Cody spent the entire break telling me, hey, man, I don't have any moral objections to strip clubs. This person would not have been fired if he had gone just to a strip club. And you're right about that. But I would say to you, if he was unfortunate enough to get caught on the car service the one time that he did it, I imagine the players would be really upset to see that he was spending the union's money that way. And Greg was saying, well, they go to strip clubs. Yeah, but they don't use the union's money to do it.
They would if they could, though.
Probably.
And he could.
He could, and he couldn't. And he shouldn't.
I just think you're imagining outrage from players who go to strip clubs and spend $2,000 on a bottle and don't even think about it. Yes, ideally, the guy running their union shouldn't do that. But as I said before, the strip club controversy alone doesn't matter unless it's preceded by what Pablo reported, unless it's about to be followed by a bombshell.
I don't think it doesn't matter at all. It probably wouldn't get him fired, but I do think, again, I'm going to go back to DeMaurice Smith. The role is not, look at me. The role is not, you get to spend all the money and have all the fun with the union's money.
I agree with that.
You're representing a body of labor that wants you to use that money to protect and work on behalf of that body of labor in a way that is streamlined and efficient and responsible.
But, I mean, if he's going to a meeting there, he's not going to show up in his Kia Carnival. You know, like he has to look the part for the meeting he's attending.
But it wasn't a limo, it was a sedan. Like, it was there for 8 hours. It was $700 because he was there all night.
Well, someone had to watch the bags, Dan.
Yeah.
Straight from the airport.
I would think that the players probably spend that on car services regularly and don't really bat an eye at that being like a crazy expense.
Again,
but do they get to submit an expense report?
Again, you guys are like, I'm not objecting to the strip clubs. I'm objecting to this person's position and how he was spending money that's not his, money that's not earned by him.
Yeah, but have you ever been?
I have not.
To this one?
I have not. I have not been to Tootsie's.
I see the billboard every day. Looks pretty tempting.
A billboard I see all the time, every day around here, is that Theranos' Elizabeth Holmes is making a comeback. How is it that she got the kind of money to make her way back into the game with billboards all over Miami? And you know who I'm talking about, right? Elizabeth Holmes, the fraudster who said she could do something with a droplet of blood.
A fraudster finding success in this climate? I refuse to believe
a
this.
return. I just don't
Really?
I don't understand how much money she's spending locally or why. I don't understand how that's come about. But the story I was mentioning, Oakmont Country Club has banned Wyndham Clark because during the U.S. Open, he came back to the clubhouse and he destroyed the locker room. I do not know the extent of the damages, but what they have said lifts the ban. And I'm curious what you guys think about this and what questions you have about this. That if he ever wants to play Oakmont again, he has to pay damages, he has to make a sizable charitable contribution, and he has to go to counseling and anger management. What questions do you have on this story, and what do you think about Oakmont, a country club that is exclusive, banning a professional golfer who's going to want to play the U.S. Open there? I will offer you one detail that's interesting here. The U.S. Open isn't back there until 2033. So the ban is for 8. He's got to do all of these things within 8 years. But if the ban holds, then he can't play in the U.S. Open. And so what does he do?
I wouldn't do any of that stuff. I would stand on principle and just go like this to Oakmont. Look, he's Wyndham Clark, okay? He's a nice player.
Tell him.
He's nobody special. If this is Scotty Scheffler today or Tiger Woods back in the day, Oakmont is saying, gee, we hope you didn't hurt your hand ruining our locker room.
Those lockers were very, very old. I mean, they were a piece of history.
Can you guys look up for me, see if you can find any details on how bad the damages were? Like, how would you feel about a country club telling you got to do all these things if you're an emotional athlete who just obviously you should pay for the damages, but the idea that you need psychological counseling is aggressive.
For you guys to tell me that, right? So you want me to pay the sizable donation? Okay, that's just money. You want me to refix the locker room or whatever, but you want me to go to counseling. You want me to tell you where I want you to go? Straight to hell. You want me to go to counseling? You guys go to
Charitable
hell.
donation, too. I'm familiar with this grift off of local private schools down here. We'll consider your child for a small donation. I don't need, thank you. Public schools are fine where I'm at.
They weren't saying a small donation.
Sizable.
I might have that quote wrong. Look, find for me what the quote is. It's a word like sizable. It's not allowed to be a small donation.
Well, hopefully it's not to a presidential library. That's going around.
Have you seen
FIU.
the renderings of that? It looks like it's going to replace this building.
The presidential library?
Yeah, like when I see it, it's like right across from the Freedom Tower. Like they're knocking down this building and building a presidential library here because like that would kind of be funny, Dan, if they knocked down your studio to build the Trump library here.
May every day be another wonderful secret.
What does that mean? What do you know?
No, what it means is that's what Trump wrote on the alleged letter. It's just that last word is just such a damning crazy word. That's not an expression any of you have ever said in your life. Put on the poll at Le Batard Show. Have you ever written to anyone in your life, may every day be another wonderful secret? Like to use the word secret on Epstein is such a damning word.
I mean, that actually galvanized his base a little bit because they're like, he doesn't speak like this at all. Which I have to remind people, this was like 20 years ago. You watch videos of him from 2016. But it does sound like a dumb person trying to sound smart. I see that, and I'm like, yeah, no, that actually sounds exactly like him.
Dan, meaningful was the word that they used. So a meaningful contribution to a charity of the board's choosing.
What does that mean? What do you guys think of a number when you think of meaningful? I thought sizable is
What's worse, sizable or meaningful?
I think sizable is different than meaningful, but I don't know what meaningful means.
I can donate my time. Meaningful. Meaningful donation. Well, here's my time.
Yeah. It's pretty sanctimonious of a country club, though, to say you need anger management for what? They just showed us the damages.
I saw the pictures. I mean, come on.
They are Oakmont. There's nothing to sneeze at.
It's so ridiculous, the whole thing. If Wyndham Clark should take the offensive here. He should say, this is absurd. I'll write a couple of checks. I did the damage, but you're telling me I got to go to counseling? That's over the top. You don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to tell anyone they have to go to counseling because I had one bad day in frustration and threw a fist at a locker.
Instead of paying to fix these lockers, I'll do a little DIY. Bring my buddy. We take un martillo and we get the other side. Boom, 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 boom. Close it up. Boom, 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 boom. Close it up. We're done.
Come on, you guys look at this. This is $229 that he's got.
That's un martillo in the back. Not even $229, Dan. That's it. Un martillazo.
That looks like wicker, though, right? Is that wicker?
Yeah, it looks
do it with a softer, like a rubber mallet instead.
Yeah. Is that rattan?
rattan sack. Yeah.
Is rattan shack still around? There can't be a rattan shack.
Those had a high sentimental value, though, because they're very old lockers. I think part of the original build, which is why you don't break. Yeah, you don't just get your Theo over. You can't find the new parts. There are no new parts.
You can't.
You know what the part is? A nail.
You know what I saw the other day, Tony? Because we were talking about this a couple of years ago, Dan. It's been years now. Do you remember we were talking about the AAA over there and how much it's going to cost to take the FTX letters off of that roof? Yeah. I was up higher up on this building.
Yeah, they took them.
But the infrastructure is still there. They left half of that crap still on that roof. Yeah. Could have taken that off
unfinished
real
business.
Quick. Yeah.
That's why you got to get under that apron.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan. If you were listening to the show just a couple days ago, you know that Jeremy came up with the top 5 breath of fresh air type of list. A really refreshing feeling. And on that list, Jeremy, help me out.
I mean, that first sip of a Miller Lite at the barbecue on a hot day, crack it open.
That sound
feelings better.
That sound ultra satisfying. And then that first sip, it hits. And yes, while it's hot outside as it is presently, it cools your body down. It hits a little different down here in South Florida. But as someone that had Miller Lite north of the border and basically football tailgates as the leaves turn, there really isn't a bad time to turn into Miller time.
Next time we should do a top 5 times to have Miller time.
I like where your head's at because it's every time.
That's right.
Every time. Morning time, well, scratch that.
Nah, morning time.
morning
time if
you're on vacation.
If you're on vacation. If you're at a morning tailgate, there's a noon game.
It's Miller time somewhere. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. From improving emergency response times to protecting against cyber attacks, local, state, and federal governments are innovating with Google AI. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Sports are all about teamwork, and so is insurance. Whether you need an in-person or digital assist, State Farm is there to help you choose the right coverage for your home, car, and more. Get a game plan that helps fit your life and talk to State Farm today. State Farm with the assist. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability and eligibility vary by state.
Dan Le Batard.
A woman who was out swimming with her friends is believed to have been swallowed whole by a 13-foot shark without any of her friends noticing. That's the weirdest part about that story. You're swimming with friends, you're having a good time, and then all of a sudden people are looking around going, where's Shelley? Like, nobody screamed?
Every friend group has a Shelly, though, that if they go missing because a shark ate them whole, you wouldn't notice.
Classic Shelly.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Stugotz.
She went quietly, apparently. If I'm swallowed whole by a shark, you're going to know it.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Rattan Shack is still open in Hialeah.
There's just one. Is there one in the United States? A single rattan shack? There can't be very many. But
Rattan is back, Jack.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is rattan back, Jack? I'm at the arena though. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. When you have these the penthouses in South Florida, I think South Florida is still, even though there's been a housing collapse, I think we're still the least affordable housing market in the United States. But the penthouses around South Florida are obviously super expensive, and you will occasionally see a helicopter coming in and bringing in furniture like pianos or whatever because you can't get it up through the elevator, and so you have to fly in the furniture and put it from on top. The things that you're talking about that were on the Kaseya Center were so heavy that I would have liked to have seen how they got it out of there because...
Easy peasy, bro. You cut that into little bits. You put one of those things on the side of the building that's like a garbage.
How much did they pay? How much did they pay, Billy?
Dude, millions.
Remember, we talked about it. We
Millions.
do it for like half.
I'm still saying I could fix the roof of the trop.
Exactly
I'm
right.
still in business for that. I don't think that they fixed that yet.
That's right.
What
I'm
did they
still here.
What did they do with the letters? Can I buy a giant F? I'm serious. What do they do with those letters?
What would you do with that letter, just out of curiosity, if
The
you bought
F?
the giant F? Yeah.
I might buy an X. I don't know.
Yeah? And do
Yeah.
what with it, though?
Put it
Where
in
would
my
you put it?
backyard.
You know,
Call it sculpture.
So I was talking yesterday. We were at the Marlins game. I told you that earlier. And I was talking to my wife and my family. And I saw the pitch clock. We were right by the section with the pitch clock. And it looks tiny on TV, but it was massive. And I was like, if I took this pitch clock and put it in my living room, it would probably take up nearly the entire wall. And then for some reason I started thinking, and I don't know if you guys have done this, and it was inspired by Bad Bunny. Have you ever guys thought, I don't know if you've seen his concert layout, Bad Bunny, it's like his house, and then he's singing on the patio or whatever. Have you ever guys gone to a game and considered, if my house was in the middle of this field, what would it look like? Because I think my house would fit in the middle of the infield, and then I just have a massive yard. I'd see how tiny my house actually is if I just dropped it in the middle of the field. Imagine, it'd be funny if you're just playing and all of a sudden, hey, who put my house there? Game goes on. Like MTV Rock and Jock back in the day, you know?
It doesn't appear to me that anyone has had that thought. That
They will now.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah.
Put it in the outfield.
Here's another thought. Mustn't Bad Bunny's dad, Bad Rabbit, be extremely proud of that man?
He is.
Or upset that his house is missing.
What a
Very much
career
so.
he's had.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is Bad Bunny's dad, Bad Rabbit, really proud of him at Le Batard Show?
I want that X.
I thought you wanted the F.
You wanted the F.
I'm coming around on the X.
Not the T, though.
What
No.
about the letters in arena?
Hell no.
You don't want any of those, the letters in arena?
No.
Rattan,
Just the X.
Rattan Shack has merged with All Weather Patio, and they have two locations, one in Hialeah, the other one in Sunrise.
Wow. What about rival Rattan Depot? Are they worried about that?
Good question.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
You don't need to, Roy. He's making that up because he's toward the end of the show, and that's when we get a high amount of bad jokes, is later in the
correct.
show when he's a little tired.
Very observant of
He's locked in, though, because we haven't mentioned the Greg Cody show yet.
you. Yeah, well, I keep waiting.
The Greg Cody show featuring Greg Cody has something special in it this week, does it not?
Yeah, we always do. But this week we have a new occasional segment called Get to Know Your Greg. And we took a handful of listener questions, and they were more serious and better questions than I would have imagined. And some of my answers were surprisingly personal and, dare say, poignant. So that's a segment of the episode that I'm pretty proud of. Book news, I mentioned when I broke the news on this show, but I mentioned it in my podcast as well about the Pride of a Lion. And then we have Chris Cody exclusively from a Las Vegas restroom. So that's a good segment as well.
A restroom?
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw the social clip. He had sunglasses on, so I wonder.
That's his thing now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hungover?
The state of.
It could be a hangover, and now that you mention it.
Or on the way up.
Where'd he learn that from?
Hereditary.
I don't wear sunglasses. When's the last
Great
time you saw me wear
The
sunglasses?
hangover is what I
Oh,
was
that.
saying.
Okay. Well, let's not
Greg
get started.
accepts his hangover though. He doesn't try to mask it.
Right.
It's like, hey, I paid for this right here.
I mean, I haven't had any alcohol to drink in 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
Don't worry about me.
Your other arm is bleeding.
No, it isn't.
No. No.
Liar. What a liar. You got me worried now.
Or the balms.
I don't understand why.
You got us worried, pal.
I don't know why your first arm was
Well, I
bleeding.
would lower my sleeves, but it's like 140 degrees in here.
Did you guys? I saw a story this weekend that I didn't think was possible, and I don't know if you guys saw it or if anyone listening to this thought what I'm about to say is possible. What happened to a 61-year-old man who was wearing a thick chain at an MRI?
Yeah, I saw this story.
He
Yeah, I
died.
did too, yeah.
He died.
He got sucked in.
It's a giant magnet, and he must have been asphyxiated, I guess. But I had no idea that you could die in an MRI. I know they tell you to take your jewelry off and everything else
For a reason.
but that your chain would be so big and thick that a 61-year-old man could die. That I can't even imagine how horrific a death that has to be, because nobody can break the chain and you can't get out from under. I had no idea that was a thing that could be possible.
Agreed. Bad way to go.
But did you guys know that was possible?
It's
powerful.
Was
right?
that in a
it's
Final Destination?
that or 1,001 Ways to Die?
it felt like Saw.
Yeah.
No one could kick out the plug like from the wall.
I was gonna say if you unplug it, then
Yeah,
just
turn it
it'll
off.
fall
That
down.
whole industry, I don't trust it. Like, oh no,
What,
it's totally
science?
safe, and then they just run out of the room.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And they put that little vest on you, and you're
I
like,
don't
"What
like
is this
it.
supposed
I
to
don't-
do?" And they're like, "No, you're
all
good.
All
Put it
good.
over my balls." And you're like, "No, you're
Twinkenberries,
cool. Don't worry."
You're good. I'm just gonna go hop across this aisle over there and close
Bulletproof
3
glass.
doors.
Juju, put it on the poll, please. We got a lot of polls today. Do you do an MRI comfortably ever? Because
Have you been in one, Dan?
I have been.
Extremely tight.
I'm just the entire time. I'm like, don't get a boner. Don't get a boner. Don't get a boner. Don't get a boner.
Wait, why?
I tell you not to get a boner.
They do?
Is that just me?
That's
They
never
do
come
not.
up in.
They do not.
Well,
Pre-
never with me either.
Why do they tell you that?
Not because it could
It's tight.
destroy your
They
dick.
they have you tighten that thing.
But it's
like
made
a
of
tube.
metal?
I don't know.
It's not that tight, and it's not that big.
Could be made out of metal.
Got to go for an open MRI
Yeah.
if you
Those
can.
are fine. Those are fine. I think you can. You're free to get a boner there.
No, they're about the same, except towards your head, they're a little more open, but they're not real open. Like I asked for one of those, and it was still like obviously, claustrophobia is something that a lot of people feel. But my particular MRI, the last one, they make it very comfortable because you can watch something on television right above you, and so it makes it easier. But even in an open toward the head MRI, which is the only kind I'm willing to do, it requires some work from me to not feel so uncomfortable that I want out. Like I have to control my breathing and sort of be regimented about, look, a lot of people come here. Nobody ever dies with a chain. Nobody ever dies. But the fear is such that I don't open my eyes. I didn't even watch the television because I didn't want to know how tight it actually is, because I'm not small and that opening is. And so, but even with though, what I'm saying, when you say you got to do an open one, I go into the open one. Like I went months later than I needed to, because everybody wants the open one. And I get to the open one, I'm like, this is the open one?
Like, yeah, look at the opening right there. You're like, whoa.
This does not feel like the open one.
Hop in and don't get a boner.
But none of you knew that someone could die like that.
There got to be some other factors here. The age probably being one. I don't know if he's out there with a Cuban link, but I got to see how this happens. There very clearly a systematic breakdown. Number one, he was able to wear the jewelry in the first place. I'm sure someone was within earshot. How quick did this happen?
I've got questions. Please do some of the reporting, because I'm busy doing a show and
I'm
can't
on the
do it
Cavender
right
beat.
now.
I'm sorry. This is Pablo's.
I can tell you that the guy reportedly was not a patient there, did not have an appointment, and sort of just walked in and snuck in, and no one was even allowed to say, "Hey, take off that big chain, watch out." You know, he just literally walked in. So, I hate to say it, but it sounds as if he might have brought on his own demise.
You didn't hate to say it because you didn't have to say it.
I regretted saying it.
It's a sad story.
It is a sad story.
You didn't have to say it. You could have stopped it. I hate to say it.
Well, the first thing I did was imagine how many 61-year-olds are wearing gigantic gold chains. Probably not many. But after that, I did hate to say it because I don't like the untimely death of anyone except my mortal enemies.
Right.
Who are your mortal enemies?
Hitler. I wouldn't have minded seeing his demise. Might have spit on his grave. That's about it.
That's the
Dave
list.
Hyde.
Well, that's.
I was going to say Charles Bricker.
Yeah, Charles
Bricker maybe. Not Hyde. No, Dave and I are okay.
Not Dave. Armando Salguero?
No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Armando.
My name is Happy Gilmore. I haven't swung a club in years.
You know what you got to do. Grip it and rip it.
Or... Oh, now that is some Happy Gilmore.
Everyone is talking about the comeback kid, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Knee.
Yeah, baby.
Happy Gilmore 2, only on Netflix July 25th. Rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13.
Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. Earn 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. And with a welcome offer of 150,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership, your business can soar to new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
The McDonald's Snack Wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch Snack Wrap. Spicy Snack Wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack Wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Don Le Batard.
Billy, somebody has written in here, I need way more.
I'm sorry.
I just said in his headset, haven't you been to all of them too?
It sounded like you were speaking aloud. My bad. Totally on me. That's 100% on me. All right. Yeah.
Stugotz.
Well, that goes without saying.
Right.
That it couldn't happen.
Well, no, he said
Well, he didn't say it. He said it again.
Yeah, that
Greg,
was just in my head again.
My apologies are sincere.
Greg, why? Greg.
Yeah.
Greg.
He apologized. I mean,
Greg.
Sincerely.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Dan, with your setup, I thought you were going to talk about the big combat sport news that happened over the weekend.
I've got a couple of things on that I wanted to talk about. One of the things, though, before that was I was really rooting for Pacquiao this weekend. He was winning after 10 rounds, and what happened is age at the end of that fight. He just got tired.
Of all the fight cards to lead off with, Pacquiao, I mean, it was a great weekend in the fight game.
He would have been welterweight champion again
That's
at
insane.
46, and he was up after 10 rounds. But no, of course, Jake Paul announcing, and I'd like to see what some of the reports are on this. Now, Greg, I don't know if you're familiar with Anthony Joshua, but I'm not joking when I said that before Tyson Fury made his appearance, Anthony Joshua, I thought was going to be the future of the sport. I thought that him and Wilder was going to be a heavyweight fight for the ages, and now it appears that Usyk is an all-timer instead. But when I hear that Jake Paul is fighting Anthony Joshua, I'm like, that's crazy. He's got no chance in that fight. Like he's going to get knocked out. He's going to get hurt. That's a legitimate heavyweight. He's not even in that weight class. Do we know that this is true, or is this something that Jake Paul is hoping is true? Because it seems to me like that would be foolhardy, that his money train will end right there because that is a real professional fighter and he is not.
Look, I'm not here to speak on whether or not Jake Paul is trolling folks. There were a lot of reports suggesting that Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua were negotiating a fight. And then I ordered the Usyk fight Jake Paul was there in attendance, and he said, no hearsay, this is happening. He confirmed it himself to the cameras. Now, it could all be a put-on. He's done things like this in the past to promote an HBO Max show with his brother. Remember, for a day, they had some people fooled, saying the Paul brothers would fight one another. I mean, Jake Paul is not a small dude, and he could very certainly bulk up to the point that he's a heavyweight, but he is not the size of Anthony Joshua. And I think more importantly, he's not of the skill set. There's a guy who, the most recent heavyweight he fought was Mike Tyson at his age. Anthony Joshua, I think they're talking about Wembley. It would be a massive fight. People would be tuning in to see someone that they know is a boxer of repute go up against Jake Paul and not some waterlogged version of that heavyweight fighter. I'm with you. This seems to be the end of things for Jake Paul, but I am more than back in because I want to see it happen.
That is nuts, okay? To fight that person. If you're not familiar with Anthony Joshua, look, he had a couple of setbacks. They've been disappointing. It's beyond him looking the part, though. He's an exceptional fighter, and I really did think that a super fight between him and Wilder, for people who love boxing, would have felt like old-time heavyweight boxing matters, and then Joshua lost and was exposed. But and lost to a fat guy, which hurts, right? It just hurts the reputation when you lose to somebody who's a little
Andy
sloppy.
Ruiz.
When you're a little sloppy, it hurts.
The other thing, too, is you have Jake Paul, and every time that we've seen him fight, it's been against somebody who's not a boxer, right? Then he graduated from that into waterlogged boxers, as Mike was saying. And then you get to the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight, and you're like, okay, this is a guy that's been dealing with drug and alcohol problems, and he's not at the top of his profession. He's a good name, but not it.
Got deported days after.
Also. But then you look at Anthony Joshua, right, who is a legitimate, probably one of the best boxers on the planet if we start, divvying up really good boxers at the elite.
He's one of the best heavyweights.
For sure.
Yeah, in a sneaky, pretty good era for heavyweights.
Yes. And he did to Francis Ngannou, which was knocked him out in boxing, not in MMA, knocked Francis Ngannou out in boxing. And then you see Jake Paul, and you're like, I know Jake Paul is not Francis Ngannou. Going back to the math, right? 10% is more than 9%. Yeah. I know. I look at Francis Ngannou, and then I look at Jake Paul, and I'm like, those two guys are not the same. They're not built the same. And Anthony Joshua knocked Ngannou out. So I look at Jake Paul, and I'm like, does he really have a chance? But he's proven us all wrong the entire way.
I'm waiting to see what the catch is for this. I mean, there has to be a catch.
I don't believe it.
I mean, okay. Jake Paul said himself, but he says a lot of things. Jake Paul is not a small guy. I know he's ranked at a smaller weight class. I've stood next to the guy. That dude is big, and he can certainly get to heavyweight weight class. He had a face-off with Usyk, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't know why they're doing that. You have a guy that's beaten Tyson Fury twice and a guy that lost to his brother. Well, I don't know why we're doing that face-off, but maybe just for the moment.
I'm surprised to hear you say that Jake Paul's career would be over with a loss. I don't think that's the case at all. I think maybe I'm being too cynical. Everybody wants Jake Paul to lose. Everybody's going to be rooting against him. If Joshua wins as expected, immediately Jake Paul's granted a rematch, then it becomes the best out of 3, and then it's just a moneymaker for everybody.
This is a great quote. Tyson Fury says Jake Paul is going to knock out Anthony Joshua.
I don't know what's going on here. Something's going on here.
I don't think that his career would be over. I think that the money train, like the giant fights, would be over if he gets knocked out in the first couple of rounds by Anthony Joshua. Just the giant money train.
That's curious, because I think that he's finally picking an opponent where, we understand why you lost here.
Yeah,
and he actually earned something by taking the fight.
Oh, but I think
everyone thinks
stepping into the ring is a win.
Anthony Joshua, it's going to be a massive fight. Number one, they're going to clear a lot of money. You're going to have morbid curiosity. You're going to go in there thinking this guy may get pummeled in ways that we've never seen him. And I think everybody would tip their hat, saying, "Okay, this is not a." He may be past his prime, but not in the way that Mike Tyson is. Far from it. This guy is God bona fides.
No, he's not past his prime. Anthony Joshua is an exceptional fighter, and I believe he would embarrass Jake Paul. But I also thought Mike Tyson would hurt Jake Paul. And I got that one spectacularly wrong. The things that I don't know about all of this is boxing's a sewer. There's a lot of money to be made. I saw Floyd Mayweather hold up Conor McGregor for a bunch of rounds because he could, and Anthony Joshua will realize quickly that Jake Paul does not have the skill set, so he can let him hang around for a while and just milk the fight to what Tony is saying so that they can have a second one sometime because I think there's very little chance that Jake Paul can actually harm Anthony Joshua, even with a surprise punch, even with one surprise punch.
I saw the Logan Paul Mayweather fight, and Logan actually performed admirably there. Jake reputed to be the better fighter of the two, but also was a pretty good shining example as to why they have weight classes. Not that Floyd was ever this knockout power type of artist, but dude tried, and he couldn't put down Logan Paul. And Logan actually earned a lot by surviving and going in there with a guy that was close to his prime and not getting knocked out. And I think Jake Paul, if he survives it or puts in an admirable showing, gets a few shots in, money train keeps going no matter how bad his face looks by the end of it.
I also think Jake Paul, in that case, gets a little credit for fighting a real opponent, the best opponent he's fought, even if he gets his ass kicked, frankly. Because then Jake Paul is in a position that he hasn't been in before. He gets to be the underdog. He gets to be the comeback kid. Whether he's humbled or not by losing to Joshua, he gets to be in a position that he hasn't been in before. Give me another chance. I'm still Jake Paul. I want this next fight.
And this segment is exactly why boxing is in a unique place, because we led with Pacquiao at 46 years old. We're talking about what admittedly is a very interesting Jake Paul fight with Anthony Joshua. But now we're circling back at the end of the segment to a guy that's being called as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time in Usyk, a guy that's taken on what I've mentioned is a pretty good generation of heavyweight fighters, certainly better than the Klitschko era when Klitschko was dominating. You have the Ukraine tie. You have a guy that if you fight him in a rematch, he knows all your tendencies and he's going to make you look absolutely silly. He should be a bigger star. He should be what we lead off with. This is not me. I'm just a casual boxing fan that'll order the occasional big heavyweight fight or other fights that people that know boxing tell me to order. But he is being talked about by guys that know what they're talking about as one of the all-time great pugilists.
You say, though, he should be a bigger star, and you'll have a hard time finding foreigners in boxing who are big stars. The Klitschko's dominated the division and have no fame standing in the United States, even though Vladimir Klitschko was the dominant undefeated heavyweight for like 10 years. The run, go look, you're right that it wasn't a great heavyweight class and he wasn't a fun fighter to watch, but go look at what his record is and how he just plowed through that division. And that's the problem. If Usyk was the baddest man in America as the heavyweight, he would be a bigger star.
No doubt. I mean, for someone that does have a language barrier, his English isn't great. He is a charismatic fighter, and he is fun to watch. He does have a star quality about him. He does take on all comers. He does take the biggest fights of the generation, and there is always one name standing at the end of it. I'm telling you, he should be in that conversation, not according to me, although every time I watch him, I'm blown away by his talent. Fury seemed like an impossible thing to crack, and he's done it. Second time, there's rumors that he's going to do it a third time. This dude is unbelievable, and it's going to be really interesting to see where people put him when you get a treetop view on his career.
Last 6 fights, Anthony Joshua twice, Dubois twice, Tyson Fury twice. So it's like you're fighting the best of the best every single year.
Go ahead and look up for me, though, the stats. In fact, just I wrote it one time in the Miami Herald. Just I don't remember them off the top of my head, but the Klitschkos don't get enough credit for what they did, even if you think it's a diluted division. But let's just show everybody some B-roll here of Jelly Roll throwing Logan Paul into a desk, please. Let's watch that together. It's slightly fake.
Oh, God.
Took that bump pretty hard.
Yeah, he did. That's a rough looking bump actually there for Logan Paul because the table's fake as all hell, but it didn't help him at all cushion that fall. Jelly Roll apparently working really, really hard in the ring with guys like Kevin Owens and the trainers really embracing this thing. And it's curious because Travis Scott was associated with some of the bigger storylines in WWE, and Triple H kind of took the opportunity to highlight Jelly Roll's commitment and take a shot at Ari's main client, Travis Scott, and his level of buy-in.
How do you guys have no enthusiasm for Manny Pacquiao at 46 being ahead on all the cards after 10 rounds? Like, it's nothing?
Then what happened?
Yeah, he lost.
That's why we're not talking about it.
He's old.
That felt like the sideshow of all the combat sport cards this weekend, and PFL, I think, also had a really good one. You had the BMF title on the line, and what many people are saying is the UFC card of the year, one of the greatest UFC cards ever. We said goodbye to a legend. You had that UFC card, plenty of big-time favorites lose, a lot of parlays, RIP, because of that UFC card. And you had the heavyweight of his generation put in the work. I guess Manny Pacquiao, I thought got lost in the shuffle, but you were locked in, Dan.
I'm guessing that Pacquiao has bigger name than Usyk, even though Pacquiao at this point in his career is faded.
Who's Pacquiao for? Like, in terms of like boxing, because I feel like trotting Manny Pacquiao out there for a fight is no different than trotting Jake Paul out there for a fight, just on different age spectrums.
Asians to a large degree, Filipinos
But
come
I'm
out
saying
for Manny Pacquiao, and it's a huge base. It's
a nostalgia play, right? Like, you're getting him because, like, wow, look, we have Manny Pacquiao, but that's not that different than Jake Paul, is it? I mean, I guess he's more legitimate because he obviously has the career and he's done it, but it's as real of a fight as a Jake Paul fight is.
Yeah. No.
I mean, he's still... He's Manny Pacquiao at his prime. He was, him to be great. We don't know how good Jake Paul is. We don't have the only frame of reference is he lost to Tyson Fury's brother.
But it's the same trick.
It is to a degree.
It is that. It's just a famous fighter. It's the only reason he's getting a title fight. It's not because he deserves a title fight. It's because he brings pay-per-view money and he brings fans because he has that name. But he also has a boxing record that before that one knockout. He's the opponent that most people in boxing thought could beat Floyd Mayweather. He was the only one. There was only one that was the one that everyone thought has a chance against Floyd Mayweather.
And Floyd, as smart as he is, I've talked about him, Dan, like the original pay-per-view guy that understood if I sell this fight, I'm going to make more money on the back end, and I'm never going to take damage because I'm such a good defensive fighter. He knew Pacquiao may have given him trouble, which is why he dragged on so long to fight him. And then all of a sudden, when Pacquiao finally fought Floyd Mayweather, the shell of what he was, and it's like, okay, cool, I'll just sit back here, jab.
That was so boring, that fight.
It was boring.
I watched that fight, and I said,
everybody did. That's why.
I want Conor McGregor to fight him again. You know, that fight was more exciting. Put on the poll, which was more fighting. Conor versus Floyd or Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd?
Dan,
it was Conor.
Dan, I know you were locked in on Pacquiao. I know you were locked in on Usyk. Dustin Poirier bringing the UFC to Louisiana. I don't know if they've ever done a card there. Imagine the cachet. Imagine the love that you have worldwide, company-wide, for you to bring a pay-per-view, numbered pay-per-view card to Louisiana for your last dance. Fought Max Holloway in the trilogy, and it got to me. It got me a second. When he went out there and put the gloves on, they played the video tribute, I was just like, damn, one of the good guys. I think... do you have anything bad to say about Dustin Poirier? Like, he's a guy that is community-driven, family-driven, like great fighter, has fought... I'm going to read you some of the names in his generation that he's fought. Max Holloway 3 times. McGregor three times. Justin Gaethje. Eddie Alvarez. Islam Makhachev. Korean Zombie. Charles Oliveira. Michael Chandler. Like, he's fought the best of the best in his generation, and now he calls it quits, puts the gloves on the canvas. An emotional time for me on the MMA Hangout, Dano.
He'll be back.
No, he won't.
They're always back.
No,
he'll be back. He'll be back.
I thought I knew you were going to say that when I was walking
he'll
in,
be back.
Preparing something for Dustin Poirier.
You know he'll be back.
He's not going to be back.
Yeah,
this
he'll be back.
This is one that's forever.
There's always a price. He'll be back.
Tyson fights at 58.
Exactly.
Pacquiao fights at 46. Nobody ever retires in that sport.
He'll be back.
They really undercut you there, Tony.
You're
our expert. You're the one who's drawing big numbers on all these MMA hangouts. I think I would have trouble getting Greg Cody to name 3 mixed martial artists all time. I think that might be
Greg's
hard
got
for
it.
him.
Greg, you got it.
You think you could do 3, 5? What's the most you could do if I asked you to just name MMA
all
fighters?
time, I could do 10 or 12. Easy.
MMA fighters?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not going to take a quiz.
He's not here for a
we got
quiz.
10 seconds left. We got 10 seconds left. You can name 3 instead of 10 if you want.
I will say
5 seconds.
I will say Dustin, whatever his last name was, will come back.
Jack.